You are both so successful. Is there ever a moment of jealousy, and how you deal with it? How to find time to be intimate when you have different sleeping patterns. I didn't think it was going to be a question about sex on here. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is a little bit different. We have both got our Organifi Gold, chocolate gold.
So delicious.
And we are going to do a couples Q&A. I've been asked to do this for a really, really long time and finally decided it was time. So it's late, no makeup. So I have so many questions to ask you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go for it.
So I got these sent on Instagram. The first one that I kept getting a lot was, how did you guys meet? I feel like you can kick this part of the story off.
So I feel like I want to write a book about this someday, but we first met when I basically was dating on online dating apps, and I stumbled across Natalie on Bumble, and I was like, oh my God, this girl is a Geordie. So she's from Newcastle. It's not far from where I grew up. She seems super ambitious. Need to...
You're bashing on the table. I think we're not meant to do that.
Oops, sorry, Hunter. I apologize. So I was not going to give up on not seeing this girl. So I messaged her on Bumble and she didn't get back. And I was like, whoa, this girl is not getting back to me at all. Like, so I then decided to be that creepy guy where I was like, I'm going to go stalk her on Instagram and I'm going to find her and I'm going to message her because I can't pass up this opportunity. So I did, I found her on Instagram, and then I did the old coffee emoji question mark, which, guys, if you're listening to this video, is a great tip. Try it. And that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I'd actually deleted Bumble and had just been like, yeah.
So shadow app, yeah.
Yeah, I just totally deleted it like a while back before that because I was like, you know what, I'm like fine as I am. I don't need to be on the apps right now. So I deleted it. So it's so crazy that I ended up showing up still, but that's how we met.
It was. And then we went on our first date and you actually thought that...
Oh yeah, I did not think it was a date at all. So he dropped in my DMs. I normally do not answer DMs from guys asking me to go out with them. Like I just don't. But I saw that he was from Scotland. So I was like, okay, he's from close to home. He's in San Francisco. Maybe I want to, like maybe this will be okay, like good friends or something. And then
I was not thinking we were going to be good
friends.
Yeah,
I just did not think anything of it. And he invited me out for coffee. It wasn't like a fancy date. So I really just thought that it was like connection. So I turned up on the date just like not dressed for a date, not thinking it was a date, like so casual. And you all this time were thinking it was a date.
Yeah.
Another question I got is, what does he think of your success, or what did he think of your success? I guess both.
So I think it comes back to seeing Natalie on a dating app. I was like, wow, this girl is from back home, super ambitious. I didn't get a chance to meet many folks like that, especially not from back home. So totally first thing was like, wow, I need to meet her at the very least. But in terms of her ambition, it's one of the things that keeps me kind of excited and like, holy shit, what is she accomplishing next? You know, it's not like it's like one level, it's like the next level and the next level and the next level, and it seems to be new frontiers every single couple of months. So super supportive. Also feel a little bit competitive. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to beat her in some of these items.
Well, this leads me on to this one question. You are both so successful. Is there ever a moment of jealousy, and how you deal with it? So I don't think that's been a thing for us. Like I genuinely get so happy just seeing you win and seeing you be happy. And I feel like it's the same. Like we just help each other out.
Yeah, I think, you know, not to like compete with each other, but have empathy for each other. That's one of the big things that stood out over the last few years, is we both kind of get each other's journey. So whenever we're having a hard time or a good time, you know how important it is to celebrate that, or, you know, help the other person get through that. So I think it's just a lot of empathy and a lot, celebration.
Yeah, and I actually think one of the biggest things is really seeing yourself as a team. So I generally don't see you doing your thing as one thing and me doing my thing as another. I see like the two of us building something together and being a team. And I think that's really important when you are in a relationship and you're both ambitious. I think really being a team and working towards a team effort is really important.
Yep. And another thing is skill set. I think we've got different skill sets, which is really helpful.
Yeah, and we can help each other out a lot.
Yeah, your background in marketing is obviously really good. My background in partnerships and business development side is really good. So it's good when you can bring that together and help each other.
Yeah. Also, I'm not wearing my wedding ring right now just because I don't want to like ready for bed. But that does not mean we're getting divorced. Which segues me to another question. See how I did that? So smooth. How often do you guys argue or fight?
So big fights, not that frequently. Little fights, all the time. That's the thing that we're constantly working on. And huge testament to both of us getting faster at those little fights, de-escalating quickly. Because beginning of our relationship, those little fights would then roll into big fights because we not have the skills to kind of work through them. But definitely more recently in our last few years of relationship, we're so much better at de-escalating fights.
Well, I wouldn't say in the beginning because we didn't actually have a fight for an entire year when we got together.
Yeah, it was past the honeymoon part.
Yeah, it's like the middle phase. And our honeymoon phase might be a little different because we got married after 4 months of knowing each other. So we'd never even had a single fight when we got married. Like we were still in that phase of like, it's a whole story and we should let me know below if you want that full story because that is a full thing in itself. It would need a whole video. But we didn't fight for like a good year, and then we moved in together, and I think that's where it all started.
When all the cracks start to appear, and you're like, oh my god,
this person isn't perfect.
Yeah.
This person doesn't load the dishwasher in the way
I need. Dishwasher thing, guys. If you may know this, guys, if you're listening, did your significant other do the dishwasher properly?
No, this is not a guy thing. This is a Virgo thing.
Oh, it's a Virgo thing. Okay.
Which also segues me. I feel like I should be a TV host. Someone said here, is Capricorn and Virgo a good match according to you?
Absolutely, but there is times when we're both so stubborn that we both want our own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah, we don't fight a lot, but we definitely do fight though. But the big fights are few and far between. Being a Capricorn and a Virgo is really interesting, and it's so funny that you said yeah, it works because half the time you're like, I don't believe in star signs. As Capricorn and just generally me, I'm really ambitious, organized, clean, like obsessively clean and tidy, which plays into your traits, which again, you're so clean, so tidy, very organized. Like if we ever collaborate on a spreadsheet, it's the cleanest spreadsheet you've ever seen.
It's the nerdiest thing ever.
Oh my god, we literally, when he creates spreadsheets for us, that's such a turn on for me. Is that really creepy? But then we're both really organized. We never leave mess around the house ever. Like we always clean up after ourselves. Like we each have probably little things, but I can't even think around mess and cleanliness. We just don't do that.
That may be a big thing for us is like a tiny thing for someone else.
I can't even think that there is one thing for us because we're really obsessive.
Yeah.
We're basically that our house is really not ever a mess. So that's the one thing that works really well. I think I would personally struggle to be with anyone that wasn't like that. So yeah, I think it works really well. What is your favorite thing to do as a couple? My cousin asked this.
TV is a really nice thing. Like if we're sitting in snuggled watching TV, that's really nice.
Yeah, I think we're thinking of that right now because we're like cozied up with hot chocolate. But travel's a really good one. We just love like our rituals, like going out and getting bowls on a Sunday or working out together, or like just doing like a nice brunch or a game night. Like we don't do like that many crazy things. Like we're pretty.
But the Sunday ritual is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I don't know if other couples have this, but we have like our one thing happens every single week, the exact same format.
Yeah, I think that's a Capricorn Virgo thing.
Yeah,
like we have all of
and it has to be like on time. We have like a strict like schedule.
Oh yeah,
whenever the day goes on Sundays. Yeah.
Oh my god, everyone listening to this is gonna be thinking we are crazy. Yeah. Someone said how to push your partner to the next level without pressuring him. So that's actually really interesting because I'm super ambitious and driven, and there's definitely times where I've pushed you really hard, and I think you have me too. I'm not necessarily the person to speak on of how to do it tactfully because I'm very direct. I'm like, you need to be working towards bigger goals, or you should I'm very direct, but I think just generally not pushing that person too hard because like you say, like it's having empathy for that other person's journey is really important, but maybe I'm not the best to answer this question.
I think I can offer an answer to this one, which is it's really important that the other person, so in this case you were saying him, that he has that inner moment himself, like that light up moment. If you're gonna push and you're gonna push, it might end up creating resentment, and you don't want that. You really want them internally to go, yeah, I want to do this, and that's like be careful about how you do that, but if you can light that spark internally, it's best to come from within, from him himself.
Yeah. Okay, so someone said, do you both own multi-million-dollar companies, and how do you show support for each other's businesses? Yeah, we do. Yeah. Which is really cool. How do we show support? So we firstly have a lot of boundaries around work. So I just want to put that out there first, because it's not like we spend every dinner or like breakfast talking about work. We have a lot of boundaries when we talk about work and when we don't. Well, I do, otherwise Stephen would talk to me about work 24/7. But the way that we support each other is just hearing what's going on in the other person's business, like getting those pretty much daily updates, if not weekly. Like we really are on the same page all the time. And the support I think you give me the most is just being an entrepreneur, and especially a CEO, is really hard when you're managing so many different people and so many different personalities. And I come to you a lot for just support with that, because you're very good with people, and I like that part of your support.
Yeah, I think one thing you've really helped me with on that front is boundaries. Because again, as you said, I could spend all evening working, and like I need that switch off moment. And Natalie's really good at like, okay, it's dinner time, like we're switching off. I can very much find myself sitting at dinner table, talking about work and everything that happened that day. So Natalie is incredibly good at maintaining boundaries and helping me set them as well.
And marketing.
And marketing. You're good at a lot of things, babe.
He knows what to say. How did you start making friends after moving? It's actually so easy, because I had met a couple of people on Instagram that just introduced me to other people, and so it's really interesting because I'm a really extroverted introvert. So on the is it the 16 personalities Myers-Briggs situation, where you're either introvert or extrovert? I'm actually, I think, 51% extroverted. So I love to be like, I can be really social. I love to be social. I love to meet people. I find it really easy to meet people and make friends. And then I started inviting you around to a lot of those things. You obviously have your own friends, but in terms of couple friends, I started into bringing you around, and you're the most social. You're probably like 90% on the extrovert scale.
I haven't even done that test. I don't know what
He's so extroverted and just loves people. Like, you can just put you in a room. I think both of us, but you can put you in a room with anyone and you're just so happy.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really important on couple friends is, especially because we're both super ambitious, when we meet other couples, it's kind of important that both of them are also ambitious, because it's in terms of the conversation, things you talk about and things you've seen, we find we best interact with couples that are also really ambitious.
That's a really good point. Like, when I know specifically what you're talking about, and there's been situations where where we've been in with other couple friends, like newer couple friends, where maybe the guy was really ambitious but the girl wasn't, and not, or like career driven or like passionate about what they do for a living, and I am, and so it was really hard for me to like plug into that when I felt like the guys were talking about business and fun stuff that I like, and then I didn't have a ton of other stuff in common. So I think that's really important. Like, it doesn't always need to be like a male-female divide, and it's really nice if you can have those things in common. How did you manifest each other? So, did you manifest me?
I absolutely did not manifest.
I feel like you totally did.
I did not. I didn't know what manifesting was.
Well, did you have like an idea of someone that you wanted to be with, and then you imagined it and it came true?
No.
You just had no idea?
Had no idea.
I think he's lying. How much time do you spend together now, and how did you manage busy schedules at the beginning? It's always kind of been busy schedules. In the beginning, we didn't used to see each other Monday to Friday, like when we were first dating, and we would hang out Friday night till Sunday. We were like obsessed.
It was like 76 hours through the weekend. Yeah. I couldn't wait to like wake up to go visit her, and I couldn't really go to sleep. That
intense. Was like when we first met, and that continued until we moved in together, really. But then there would be certain times when we would just cave and call each other on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night and be like, do you want to come round? But we generally would both work pretty late, so we had strict boundaries. And then when we moved in together, we actually became less busy and focused a lot more on balance. And now we generally work till like 6, 7. I always cook dinner. You've been helping. Like, always want to cook for around that time. We sit down. We always have dinner together. We like are off our phones, things like that. And then we'll either spend time together that night or we'll go work. Mainly spend time together versus working.
Yeah, it really depends what's going on. If we want to something we're crunching on, we'll work in the evening. If not, we don't have to.
Yeah, and then weekends, we mainly spend all of our weekends together, but if we are doing things with friends or whatever, we'll go do that. You play games every Sunday. So we have a good balance, but I wouldn't say like we ever feel like one of us is too busy than the other. Like, it's really easy. I think just respecting that you both need your own individual time and spending time together. It's nice. how did he propose? I feel like we need to do a full video just on the whole wedding proposal situation because it's too much.
I did have grandma and grandpa's help though, which was amazing. Shout out to Natalie's grandparents.
Yeah. How to find time to be intimate when you have different sleeping patterns. I didn't think it was going to be a question about sex on here. Steven's getting
Just
nervous.
saying,
Look at his
I'm not.
face.
I'm actually not nervous. I feel really comfortable with this
Oh, you
conversation.
do?
Yeah, because I want to get people's opinion. So I'm like
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a morning sex kind of guy, and Natalie prefers sex in the evening. So there's definitely a bit of compromise sometimes. I'm like, is it gonna happen in the morning? Is it gonna happen in the evening?
Yeah, compromise. I'm blushing now.
Are you? Oh, babe, it's okay.
I thought you were going to blush more at this than I was,
Nope.
but yeah, a compromise. But we actually don't have different sleeping patterns. So Stephen wakes up earlier than me during the week. I really like my sleep. He is less so a sleep person. So you get up earlier during the week, but then weekend we generally have the same sleep patterns, and we always go to bed together every single night.
That's again those rituals, like the thing that we do. We always go to bed. Every
I'm
night.
pretty sure that's something I learned off my grandparents, just like always going to bed together. Like even if the other person wants to go to bed earlier one night or later, we always go to bed together and we like agree on the time, and we have such a ritual around bedtime. We just love it. We spend so much quality time there. But in terms of sex, it's just you've got to compromise to when you both want to make time.
You all right, babe?
All right. Jeez, that's awkward. Let me see if there's any final questions. I don't know. Number one tip or piece of advice for relationships. This is the final question. So I will say, I definitely don't think we are like relationship or marriage experts.
We're not. We're only a couple of years in.
A few years in.
See,
Not
we're not
that
experts.
many. I think we're more than a couple, but I think we are definitely learning a lot of things because we do index really highly on personal growth and relationships. So what would you go with?
The number one thing that I'm still learning about. Actually, can I give two things? Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not making the rules.
Okay, so number one is understanding that you're two different people. This is like a big insight that's kind of come really apparent to me in the last few months, especially. So that you're two different people and you have your own two stories that you're telling about the world and your perceptions that are going on. So really honoring that, that you're two individuals. Second thing, communication. That is a biggie. If you can just have understand how to kind of articulate how you're feeling is so important, and it's something that I'll be honest, as a guy, I'm not that great at doing.
That's so not true.
Well, I'm getting better at it.
You're really good at it.
I'll take it.
I mean, you definitely sometimes need me to like pull the directness out of you. I think you can often like skirt around the topic versus just getting to it, which is not my approach. So I really like the directness, and I don't think you are generally haven't been, but you're getting there. Like, this is how I feel, or this is what's coming up for me.
Okay, that was my two. What's yours?
I love how that turned into a therapy session. I think for me, and I just think this goes for relationships generally, whether romantic or not, but understanding each other's triggers and patterns. So we all have different patterns, right? And so when you're in like maybe a heated situation or someone reacts in a way that you weren't understanding, like you weren't expecting or whatever, being able to step back and really play the situation out, like knowing why you reacted one way and they reacted another, because you're both just acting out of triggers or patterns or conditioning. And when you're able to step back and really analyze, that's really interesting, and it sometimes just changes the whole dynamic. Like for us, if we've maybe had like a short fight where like one person said something, the other person said something, and then, well, it's not a fight, but like we just trigger each other. When we've stepped back to be like, oh, I noticed I did this, and you're like, yeah, I noticed I did this, we just kind of look at it as complete outsiders and be like, oh, I totally get it. And that's been, I think, really helpful for us to just see that.
What's crazy for me is I knew none of this. Like growing up, I wasn't very aware of this, the fact that people had patterns or triggers. And even as recent as like 3-4 years ago, I had no idea that patterns or triggers existed. I didn't know what it was about. But now I think it's one of the biggest things that you can have that awareness of yourself, but then also of each other.
Well, we'll leave it there. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video and you didn't mind, the production quality that I'm quickly learning how to do. But I would love to know if you have any more questions for us, and specifically if you want to know our full wedding engagement story, because it's a full thing. So let me know in the comments below. And then also, if any of you want to try this Organifi drink, I'm obsessed with it. I'm going to put the links below. It's so good. You made these for us. How do you make them?
Splash of almond milk, but you need to be
just a splash?
Well, no, actually a bit more than that. Maybe like an inch worth of almond milk.
That is way more than a splash.
Well, an inch then. An inch of almond milk.
Okay.
But as you're pouring the almond milk in, you need to mix the powder at the same time.
The Organifi, it's chocolate gold. I think I said gold at the beginning. What is chocolate gold?
And then boiling water. Put that in as you're filling it up. Give it a little whittle up to the top.
You said that in such a Scottish accent. And it's so good. It tastes like really creamy hot chocolate. He generally doesn't like healthy drinks, and he loves this one.
It is great.
So,
I do recommend.
I'll put the links below. Thank you, and I will see you next week.